So I'm Bertus Basson, and today we're going to go visit my friend Alex Stoos. Now Alex is a motorcycle builder, custom guy, Harley guy, a Triumph guy. He's got a motorcycle storage business, a small little cafe called Oil and Grind. All-round great guy, a good friend, and a food lover. So let's go check in with Alex and go for lunch. Hey Alex.
Bertus, how's it going?
Really good, man. Yourself?
Yeah, lekker.
Seeing you.
Likewise.
Lekker. You ready for a lekker day, man?
Let's do it.
Nice. So this is my friend Alex Stoos, and we're in his sanctuary. This is the motorcycle vault. Next door is his workshop and a little coffee shop, and they do anything and everything with motorcycles. It doesn't matter what you ride, you can fix it, I suppose. You know.
Mostly, to a certain point.
Alex, thanks for having us today, man. It's nice to hang out with you.
Yeah, always a pleasure.
So Alex, this thing behind us, what is the story? Because it's incredibly beautiful.
This I had named the XX for two reasons. This was one of this is the 20th ground up Stoos built I've done, and as well the XX is that song. The intro is a pretty cool song. Yeah. While I was fabricating and building this, I didn't know I was doing my 20th build, and that song was playing. So I thought this would be very cool to be called the XX. So this started life as a Sportster. Yep. And we just took the motor, rebuilt the motor and blacked it all out and built everything from scratch, from the frame, swing arm, tailpiece. As you can see, the exhaust. It's consumed many hours that I'll never get back, but I'm grateful for.
It's beautiful. And this thing has been to the States?
It's been to several international shows. The first show I was invited to was the Handbuilt show in Texas. Yep. Then from Handbuilt show, got invited to the One Motor show, where it actually won this rad axe.
Oh, amazing. Yeah. Congratulations, man.
Thank you. Yeah, so that was quite a cool accolade. I was very proud of that moment.
Did you fly back with us?
That was actually quite a funny story, because I nearly had it in my backpack, and thank God my father's like, just make sure you don't have the axe in your backpack. And then it got invited to the Bike Shed show in London.
That's beautiful.
So it's done its travels. It's probably been on some more flights than a lot of people.
That's incredible. Alex, so when you build something like this, when does inspiration strike? Like, what is the thing? So do you start somewhere? Do you have a picture? Or do you start small and build it out? Like,
I start small. So I have I get inspiration from everything. It sounds crazy, but just going to a restaurant and seeing like the architecture, going to a building site, and I get inspiration from many different, at the end of the day, creativity is creativity. May it be food, motorcycles, painting. An artist is an artist, I guess, to a certain point. But a lot of the times I have a goal I want to achieve. Like, what is the purpose of the build? Do I want to just go from bar to bar? Do I actually want to build a tracker, a racer, a cruiser? And once I've kind of established that, then I start with the donor bike, and then it pretty much just evolves.
That's cool, though. Alex, before we go for lunch, man, I'm going to get the tough question out of the way. Harley, BM, or Triumph? Where's the...
You know what? You would have asked me this question
after a beer. I want to get a sober answer.
No, I was going to say, you asked me this question maybe a year or 2 years ago, and I would have said, probably 2 years ago, I would have said hands down Harley. Yeah. But to be honest, I can't say now I'm loyal to one brand.
Cool.
I really enjoy, that's the thing, is each motorcycle has a different objective. And my collection, well, I wouldn't say collection, but it depends on what you want to do. Yeah. If you, like my Triumph at the moment now, I've got several Triumphs, and that has become a big passion for me.
Do you ride them daily?
Not daily, but when I do have an option, I normally end up choosing my Triumph. Yeah. Like on the weekend, I did ride my Dyna, which I love. It's just cheeky, 110, just obnoxious.
It's a beautiful bike.
It is.
Yeah.
But now with the the function, like, with these Triumphs, especially the bobbers, I've now done several of them in the last 2 years, and they just work. They sound good, they got power, they got braking. For you to not turn your Harley into that, you 3 times the budget that you wanted to spend. Like, you can buy your Triumph and it has your braking, it has the power, throw an exhaust in and an air cleaner, and you've got the performance and you've got the braking. Now you've got to focus on cosmetics.
Sure.
Harley, as you know, you got to throw suspension, you got to throw braking, you got to throw performance in the engine, and it just becomes, Harley will always be a Harley.
Yeah.
But yeah, so in a short term, I'm not biased to any particular brand. I have a passion for all motorcycles.
I think the best way I can probably verbalize it is that I don't obsess about other motorcycles like I do about a Harley.
Yeah.
It's, like you obsess about them because they're beautiful and they're classic, and I think if a kid drew a picture of a motorcycle, it looks like a Harley. Almost, but then there's other motorcycles that you said that this does things differently, and it's so cool to be able to have more than one brand that you can enjoy. Yeah, that's what it should be.
And I know you're quite on the edge because that's how we met, was through the Harleys, and it's your life on motorcycles has been on Harleys. And I know you were quite on the edge of when you got it, but there's so much more that other brands offer, or not offer, but again, that new R18 ticks the boxes that you want to achieve for that particular bike.
100%.
And there's certain things that you'll never make a Triumph a Harley, and you'll never make a Harley a Triumph. But at the end of the day, no bikes will ever be a Harley. So you need to have several in your arsenal.
I fully agree with you. I think that's the only way to be own several motorcycles.
100%. Resolves all your issues. And if you do have more issues, you don't have enough bikes.
Whenever I meet somebody that's really angry, I say to my wife, fuck, the guy needs a motorcycle. You know that Harley maintenance is quite a thing. In my world, I've got old Harleys and I spend lots of time with you. But today we're going to hit the road in an old Land Rover. So if we get there or not is going to be the fucking, like, you never know.
That's both of my alley.
Can you rent your Land Rover?
Today's my day off.
Good. I like it. Let's roll, bro.
Awesome.
There we go. All right. Have you driven a Defender before?
No.
You haven't?
No. I haven't driven much with 4 wheels.
The keys on the side. Good luck. Okay, so the first thing to know about Defenders are that they are as full of shit as Harleys, and you'll find your bay is already flooded at the bottom of it.
Is that water or oil?
No, it's water, because that's what it is. But so now you turn the key towards you.
And the clutch is
it's heavy, bro.
Is it in neutral?
Another turn.
Oh,
there you go.
That's too gentle.
Yeah. Reverse this on your right.
This is going to be interesting.
You go on to the right. There you go.
And this.
Handbrake is there.
Handbrake.
Down. And obviously you can't. You've got fuck all visibility because we closed up. So
that's all right. What's your insurance like?
That's good.
Oh, okay, that's good. And how do you get out?
I know you see it. There you go.
No, but wait. Oh, this. Oh, Lord. Bloody millennials, eh?
Cheers, Alex.
Cheers, Bertus.
So, it's probably the question you get asked the most by people, but why motorcycles, bro?
Sure. Why motorcycles? I mean, look at motorcycles. Why not? No, you know what? The crazy thing is, as a kid, we grew up on like a small little holding, and dirt bikes was our thing. Between the family and friends, we all grew up riding motorcycles, and I just something about them. Just I think it's the freedom, the exploring. I just grew in love with 2 wheels.
I heard something the other day where somebody said it's there's a physical freedom, obviously, the fact that you get to go experience something and go somewhere. but then there's also the opportunity you get from headspace freedom.
Yes.
Like the freedom it creates in your head to just think differently about life, and that's actually probably the way that probably the reason most people ride, I suppose.
Yeah, it's therapy. I mean, even for good or bad. Like, I mean, I've never had a bad day on a motorcycle.
Yeah.
Look, I mean, we can go in like the dark side of things where, you know, things do go wrong. But on 99% of the time, it's just, you know, some of my greatest ideas have become a motorcycle. It's my next build.
Yeah.
So it's inspired my different ventures of life. Like if there's something like challenging me, or if there's a new venture, I can't think of anything better than getting up early, climbing on my bike, and just riding.
Yeah.
I mean, sometimes I'll just get on and I have nowhere to go. I'll just ride. I mean, I think like a couple of weeks ago, I just got on just on the Saturday, I did 700 Ks.
Oh, that's a stretch, man.
Yeah.
Where to?
I just got on the bike. I nearly ended up I was part of like George or something, and it was all in one day. Like I just did a loop because it was a good day. The bike was riding well. The temperature was right, and I looked and it was like, because I woke up at 4 in the morning, I couldn't sleep, and I was like, I'm just going to get on the bike and ride. And then it was like 12 o'clock, and I'd already covered like 300 Ks or something. Like it was just one of those days where I was just like, I didn't pick out one road, I didn't pull out my phone, I just went right, this road, this looks right, I'm going to go left. And I just kept on riding, and then eventually I was like, okay, it's getting a bit late, let me pull up the Google Maps. But
you know what's amazing is I usually find when I ride a bike early evening, usually back from work, and I'm on my way home, and it's a summer's evening, and as I'm about to turn off into our neighborhood, I think, oh, I can keep going. I can just keep going because it feels so good. And that's actually is that millisecond feeling we go turn off or go straight.
And how many things in life is like that you just want more, like just, hey, I want to go maybe another mile, another few kilometers.
I think the greatest equalizer for me when I ride, and for me motorcycles and kitchens are the same in that way. So a kitchen is filled with a bunch of pirates. Really, it's a bunch of people who shouldn't get along that you put into one place and you say, our common denominator is we're going to make food for people.
Yes.
And the team goes, yes, we get it. All walks of life, doesn't matter. That's the thing. And under normal circumstances, this group of people probably wouldn't get to know each other or get along, for that matter. And I find the motorcycle community is the same. It doesn't matter who you are, where you're from, what you do. Your love for two wheels is what brings you together.
Yes.
And you can get off of a motorcycle and meet somebody. And weirdly enough, people on motorcycles, the last question they're going to ask you is, what do you do for a living? They don't care.
No, they're more interested in what bike you're riding. How do you do that? Why do you for that bike?
Yeah, 100%.
And that's what's so incredible is you can actually get people together, and you can have a CEO of a Fortune 500 company. You can have someone that spent their last cent to get this bike running, and everyone is equal. No one cares about who you are in the world. It's about what you're riding, like what bike you're on, and not about the brand or the level of quality or bike. Just more like, hey, how you personalize or what you've done. So I think that's what's incredible. Like, just leave all the bullshit behind.
I fully agree. We need a bit more of that in the world. People just see each other instead of seeing what they have.
Because that's automatically is, and we're all guilty of it. Is you look at somebody when they're rolling, you're like, oof, look how they dress, how they're done. But you know, when someone's in their gear, their cuts, it doesn't matter. What bike they ride on, it's all about the freedom of the motorcycle and just enjoying the next mile that's coming.
I fully agree with you. It's one of the things I enjoy the most. So you step into a little bit into hospitality. You open up Oil and Grind Cafe next to your shop. So do you prefer a bunch of angry motorcycle customers or coffee connoisseurs?
I'll take angry motorcyclists every day. I must say, I come from a culinary background in a sense where, you know, my parents owned restaurants, my brother-in-law's in the game, my sister's in the game, my grandparents owned butcheries. So I've grown up about, like, food is a huge part of our life. Like, for me, there's nothing better than sitting down and having a meal with my friends and family. And I think dealing with rural bikers is a lot easier than with everyone that walks to the door that believes they can cook and tell you how to cook, because everyone's a chef at the end of the day.
So by default you got yourself involved in hospitality.
Yes. Accidentally owning a coffee shop with my brother-in-law. But you know what? It brings such a cool vibe to my business, and I really enjoy it. And suddenly I know a lot about coffee. I'm a coffee connoisseur now, or snob, who knows. But I really like it. It actually gave me a space to create like a little man cave, and it turned into a coffee shop for other people to enjoy. So it's bigger than just a coffee shop, which I quite enjoy. You know, we just do a burger burrito and a few little snacks and good coffee.
Perfect. And I suppose it's also again community, so people come there, drop their bike, grab a coffee, have a chat, and hit the road.
Exactly. And like so many people now have actually created that's their morning place where they start to have a coffee. If they're going to have a meeting, they have meetings there, and you know you've got that glass window so you can look into the vault, and it's quite amazing because I obviously when I walk through, because it's so the coffee shop is between the motorcycle vault, our storage facility, and Stoos Customs. So I'm, as you know, just walking in and out all the time. So I meet quite interesting characters, and a lot of people it brings them to their childhood of the bike they've dreamed of having or had once. So even if they don't ride motorcycles, it's amazing how many people can remember a motorcycle that their father had, or their uncle had, or you know, it brings a memory back. And once you engage in someone with their personal thing that they've had in their life, you create something special already. Yeah. So the Oil and Grind has added something amazing to the workshop and the whole brand of Stoos Customs.
Oh, it's beautiful. Hold on with that, man. It's really special. I love the fact that you can diversify around motorcycles. That's very cool.
Yeah, and it's quite amazing. Just like us. I mean, that's how we met.
Sure.
And it just shows you what motorcycles take you, and it sounds ridiculous, but motorcycles saved my life.
Yeah.
You know, in a not a lame way, but just like the cool people I get to meet, the travels, I get to go see the world, I get to do everything I love every day.
Yeah. I think, Alex, we often, you know, obviously I've got a busy existence, and you often think of the things that impact your life. Having a family, kids, is very important to me. You know, obviously the restaurants and all my teams and stuff. But apart from family, the one thing that's impacted my life the most in the last few years is riding motorcycles.
Yeah.
And positively, in a way, because it gives you space.
Yes.
So I ride between the restaurants, obviously, but that space it gives me amongst, so I can leave a difficult meeting or be on my way to a difficult meeting and have time to process and think.
Yeah.
And that time's becoming invaluable to me, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
It's like it
helps you reset to the next.
Yeah, 100%. And like you get it. If you're in a car, I'll be on the phone. I'll be talking, you know, about stuff. But on the bike, I can't talk to anybody.
No.
And I don't answer the phone. You know.
And you actually miss the world. Like on a motorcycle, like you'll drive down the same road 300 times in a car.
Yeah.
You ride it down once on a motorcycle and you'll notice things that you had never noticed before.
Yeah.
And it just actually like humbles you.
Yeah.
You know, the other day I was riding out to Durbanville, and it's a road I've traveled. I mean, I've lived in Cape Town my whole life. I've traveled thousands of times, but for some reason I haven't traveled in a while, and I was on the motorcycle and I was just like, damn, how beautiful is this country, how beautiful is this winelands, and it was just a simple generic road.
Sure. But
not once you're on the motorcycle, because you're vigilant, you're absorbing everything, you're smelling everything.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's incredible.
So Alex, what is your favorite ethnic cuisine, bro?
Oh, you know, that's a tough one. Obviously, depending on the day, what I feel. Actually, all of it. I just love food, to be honest. I mean, like, I love Chinese food. I say at the moment, I say Japanese. Like, I really enjoy Japanese food. But I could start down the whole list. I mean, good food is good. It doesn't matter where it's from.
I feel, as a South African, I feel quite a connection to Indian cuisine. You know? And I think the reason is that we all grew up eating samosas and sort of, weirdly enough, we all have a relationship with curry.
Yes,
it doesn't matter who you are. So there's a sort of connection to it that I've always not fostered, but this has been part of who we are. Like, you can't get away from it. So and my relationship with Indian cuisine is different to my relationship to like Cape spice cooking, to like Cape Malay cooking, and even different to the way that Afrikaans people approach spices. You know, like it's different things altogether in my head. But this sort of stuff I love it. If you think of your favorite restaurant at the moment, like you can have favorites. We've all got favorites.
I don't think I've been eating out enough to have a favorite at the moment. Actually, you know what?
Yeah.
I would say Don Armando.
Where's that?
Vasco's, around the corner from Vasco's. Mm-hmm. So it's the same owner as that little Italian on the corner, the little line, but what's that in Italian?
Yeah. Ilioni.
Yeah. So it's the one next door to Ilioni. I think Don Armando at the moment could be my favorite, with nice picanha steak. They do a mean piece of meat.
I'm just going to give them a whack, huh?
Yeah. And And as a family, we eat at Ilioni quite a lot. So that's for me is also one of my tops. But I haven't been getting out on the restaurant cuisine as much as I should lately.
In Stellenbosch, we've got the Cameron. Old Italian. It's been there for 30 years. And that's one of my favorite spots in Stellenbosch. It's just so consistent. It's always delicious.
Yeah. Just a good, good Italian, like al dente pasta.
So I think we're also like in Cape Town, like from an Asian food perspective, also like Japanese. At the moment, my favorite, well, not at the moment actually, I think hopefully forever, my favorite in town now is Obi. Love it. It's great sushi.
I went there for sushi. The sushi was incredible.
I love Asian in Sea Point. Chinese.
I haven't been there yet.
Really good. I love Thompson and Bray Street.
Yeah.
Also, like,
what is that Asian restaurant in Long Street? I know you go there.
Oh, South China Dim Sum.
Yeah. Oh, that's power.
You know what's weird? Like it's everybody loves it. Huh? Ed's a nice guy.
Yeah,
he's an extremely cool guy. So
I've never had a bad meal there.
Just look at that. Look at that. Yummy.
Is that so? What
I'm going to share with you. That's okay. This is the samosa, beef samosa.
Oh.
So I like long distance riding a lot. Like it's my thing. Jump on a bike and just go. And I've eaten some amazing food in South Africa, sort of off the saddle. You know, like you stop anywhere, somebody just grabs something cool.
Just wing it.
Yeah, 100%. So what is your favorite long distance ride in South Africa?
You know what? It's crazy. I've done more long distance riding in the States than I have in South Africa. At the moment now, there's not, I mean, a lot of other people would be like, it's not long distance, because it's not really in the bigger scheme of things. But my favorite route that I've done recently is I go through Oudtshoorn, round the back, through Knysna, up to the wilderness, and then round back again.
In Tubak?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And just stop, and I'll do it like break it up. So it's not big distances, but the different scenic places you see. It's right like we did.
Yeah.
And for me, I just love it because you got the desert, you got the ocean, you got the forest, and at the moment I haven't had much time to cut away to do longer rides, but I'm itching to do that Namibia trip.
Yeah.
I really want to do that, and yeah.
Lutritz, then took that sort of stretch. Really like that.
But are we going to do it on Harleys or?
I think you have to do it on Harleys.
Okay,
like
done.
You have to struggle.
No, I like it.
You know, I can organise you if you've done it.
My street cred might go down.
Yeah. and when you're on the road, when you're riding, do you have any favourite stops to eat?
I never really stop at the same place twice.
Okay.
I literally ride until I'm tired or hungry or thirsty, and I'll just pull in wherever looks good.
So, Alex, in my opinion, the greatest roadside food in South Africa is our pie culture.
Okay.
So do you do garage pies?
Yeah.
You do?
I do. I dance with the devil every now and then.
You only dance with the devil at 3 o'clock in the morning when it's the last pie left, you know what I'm saying? Then it's like...
And it still looks good.
Yeah, then you're rolling the dice, man. Is there any in particular you like to stop? So on the pie route, I like to call it pie route from Cape Town. It's Peregrine,
Okay.
Hoek,
Yes.
Fontaine, and then O'Meal.
I only know O'Meal from back in the day.
Yeah.
You know, when it was just that one little store.
Yeah.
There's a tunny making everything. Was it called O'Meal? Eh? It was in that small little town.
Yeah, the fusion end.
Yeah. Don't ask me to say that. I remember that. I mean, now it's blown up, but I remember that. I'm going to have to tick off those other pie stops.
Yeah, no, they're all good. I look at myself as a bit of a pepper steak.
Oh yeah.
Pie aficionado.
Yeah.
That's my thing.
Yeah.
And I just can't help myself. So whether I find myself a Peregrine or Hoek or Dassy's Fontaine or whatever, if there's pepper steak pie, that's it. I'm done.
It blew my mind that even the States, I think you'd make a killing if you open up like a pie shop in the States.
Yeah.
But because they don't understand it, they don't know it.
No.
And like me, obviously we grew up on pies, you know, BP and and all that stuff. Growing, you know, coming home, a pie was, you know, on the go, everything. Cornish pastry pie, I mean.
Yeah, 100%.
So when I moved there, I just could not understand how they did not know what a pie was. I'm like, it's meat in a pastry, just full of deliciousness, burn your face if it's too hot.
Yeah. But for them, a pie is a cherry pie.
Yeah, exactly.
Different thing.
Yeah.
No, I think it's probably like, in my opinion, the greatest South African roadside treatment.
Yeah,
It's not
I agree.
pie. And also, all pies are made differently. So when they cuck, they cuck. But I must be honest with you, like on the pie route, I enjoy all of them. And
Yeah.
I drove through the Refuse the other day. And I didn't have to stop.
Yeah.
But I had to stop. Like, it's just, you have to stop.
And the last time I was there, when we stopped on the way, because we went the N2, and I always forget that you have to go the N2, because we often go through the N1, and they only cut off at the and you pass it, so we only cut off onto the N2.
Yeah.
And every time I'm like, oh, we're going to stop at Refuse on the end.
River without end.
And I always miss it. But I was so stoked when we stopped in. I got all the assortment of mini pies.
100%.
So I got to relive my childhood.
Yeah, the only thing you've got to have with you, obviously, when you ride motorcycles, is Reenies. They help with the pies. Reenies are good.
Yeah, I'm still quite young, so I don't need that quite yet.
I'm on them. So there's a few things I keep in the big street lights.
Yeah.
There's Reenies. I don't know why Harley does it, but they really make the valves quite shit to keep, on the street light, especially the back wheel.
Yeah,
so I have to have the valve.
The 90 degree.
100% to pump the tire. Like, there's a few essentials, but Reenies feature.
Yeah.
When you go on a long ride, microdolls help a lot.
Yes. I do the microdolls, but that's because of the day before.
The activity.
The fun activities. Yeah.
And that's probably the next thing is when you ride motorcycles and have a good time. Is it beer or bourbon?
I'm more for Irish whiskey.
Okay.
Yeah, so I'll go to my Irish whiskey. Yeah.
Neat or with soda?
I'll take a few blocks of ice and a splash of soda water.
And no beer?
Too many beers.
Okay. And
Yeah.
And then at what stage of the day does this become sweeties? When do we go into brandy and coke or a rum pumpy?
When I think it depends whether I'm with, and if I want to carry on into the evening. If I've had enough for the day, then I'll put the beers aside, have a whiskey or two, and then that's me calling the evening.
Yeah.
You see me on the brandy and coke, then I'm ready to give it horns.
It gets very serious.
It's going to be a long evening.
Unfortunately, it happens. Huh?
Yeah, and then I'll make a call for someone to come pick up the bike.
And then if you have to choose your whiskey?
I quite like the Jameson's Select Reserve.
Yeah,
That's
nice.
my when I go, I'll buy a nice bottle of Select Reserve. That's my easy drinking, and then I'll just have with a block of ice.
I also like Irish a lot.
Yeah.
So I like Jameson's and I also like Bushmills.
That is good.
Yeah.
And I must have also Three Wise Monkeys is I'm not quite sure where that's from, but
Or is it Monkey Shoulder?
oh, monkeys, yeah. Three Wise Monkey. Yeah, that's the one. Yeah.
Look, that's the eatery in Sea Point. We can go there.
Yeah. Oh, maybe see, I'm still on food, eh?
No, it's a cool thing. Like, I must be honest with you, I do struggle with the sweet stuff as you become older.
Yeah.
But there is a point in the evening, especially when you're a Dutchman. And I can't deny the fact that I'm a Dutchman. that you've had too much beer and it's time for sweeties.
Yeah, it's
It's just what it is.
It's necessary. Either I'm going to go home and I call it a day, or I'm going to try steal a little bit more of tomorrow's happiness.
Yes, and then you end up seeing quite a bit of tomorrow's happiness.
Yeah.
So
when we rode back from Plett, from Neisner, oh my word, that was the longest 6 hours of my life.
I know. So we were in Neisner together last year for December.
Yeah.
And at the Hill Club, it's an amazing event. There's mostly beer everywhere. And I got to a point where it's like, I just can't drink another Corona. I love Corona, so I had none of it, and it was really like and then we discovered that there was actually brandy and coke. Yeah. And the day just became like super happy from there on.
And it wasn't a special, but we made it a special.
It was a very special occasion.
Buy one, everyone gets 3 free.
It was a fun day, but riding back the next day, I must say, Mr. Stoos was a little bit slower than usual.
Yeah. Extremely. I was even contemplating maybe even bunking Monday because I wasn't ready to tackle on the world on the bikes, knowing that we had to get 6 hours on the motorcycle.
But 6 hours from Neisner was quite long for a motorcycle ride, I must be honest with you. I think it could have been shorter.
Especially with the battle scars we were facing.
But what's happening this year, just so you know, is Alex is riding down to Simola again, but this time on an old shovel that you're rebuilding.
Yes.
And I've been joking about the shovel for the last few months because I think the shovel is going to just drop parts on the way, and I'll pick up those parts as we get.
So that's why you're leaving a day after.
I do, yeah.
Okay. And will you put your pillion seats on for me as well?
I'll give you a ride down, but it's going to get wild. So how long do you expect the ride to be on the shovel?
Okay, so first of all, the biker build-up is with me and my mate in London, and he just informed me yesterday his tank holds 6 liters.
Yeah.
And this
6
is like
liters.
6 liters in a carbon fiber tank.
Yeah.
And it's on I think it's like a 1300 shovel.
Yeah.
Carbureted. So there's no fuel efficiency there.
So how far would you get on 6 liters?
To be very honest, if you I'm actually maybe 60 k's. So it's going to be a long journey, but we've got the monster truck supporting the ride to throw monsters at us to keep us fueled.
Sure.
We've got the Stoos fan doing the sweep with a lot of fuel. So we'll be stopping every 50 k's probably, if it's just fuel. And I'm praying that it is just fuel. But then there's a little bit of wisdom that's kicked in. My trailer will be bringing the bikes back, and I will be flying back home.
Good. So when you do have too much brandy and coke, what does Alex Stoos' drunk food look like?
Drunk food.
Yeah.
I would say maybe a good like cheesy pizza, or like even a dodgy pie. Something mincy, greasy, or like there used to be a place here down the road that did the most terrible burgers. It was called Bimbos. And you would get food poisoning on a good day, but that used to be it's like a sloppy burger just full with grease and something just to line the tummy.
Yeah.
And yourself?
Well, the problem is this becomes anything then.
Yeah. The thing is, I don't discriminate.
So as much as I try to avoid like shit bread, when I'm pissed, I'll have the dodgy hot dog with the shit bread.
Yeah, because it looks so good then.
100%. And that's it. So I've for a long time I admit to the fact that I like wimpy and spur and stuff. Like it doesn't bother me at all.
Yeah, I forgot about a wimpy.
But you know, there's a. So I think there's a reality that sometimes something should be convenient.
Yeah.
So for me, if wimpy, for example, is travel food, when I do road trips, I want to eat wimpy.
Yeah.
Or when I fly and I get to the airport, I want to go for wimpy.
Yeah.
And my poison there is a cheeseburger and a strawberry milkshake. At Spurs, you get cheddar melt burger.
Yes.
So mushroom sauce and cheese. But unfortunately, for all of that, the bread's never great. It's quite commercial. So, but you know, I like.
But at that point, you're not worried about the bread.
Not at all. Not at all. So when the brandy is kicked in, then I'm okay with it. then it happens. It's life. Huh?
Garlic naan, la chaparrata, butter chicken, half tandoori chicken, and the lamb madras.
So Alex, when you travel, do you have any concern when you eat out? Like, you ever eat like dodgy shit somewhere?
You know what? You got to try everything once, eh? So I'm a very adventurous eater. I have no problem trying something and rather regret it later.
Yeah. So I've got this little sort of rule, I think, which is I never mind fresh food in a little dirty kitchen, like in like a hawker kitchen somewhere.
Yes.
And it's like you can see the food's fresh and they're gonna cook it and it's like fast paced and stuff. Yeah. That's cool. But I think it's when you deal with like old food in an old kitchen, then you've got trouble. Old food in a dirty kitchen, you've got trouble.
Yeah, I'd rather have the food fresh in a bit of a not so clean kitchen than shit food in a very clean.
Yes, I agree. Alex, if you think back of your career, what's your biggest regret?
Biggest regret? What in life or in my career?
Sure. Let's go life. Life is bigger.
Yes, that's sorry. That got deep real quick.
Let's go back to grade 2. You sat next to a pretty girl and you didn't all.
I was going to say, I should have asked my teacher out. Damn it.
Career or life? Like, we all have stuff that we go, we should have done a different thing.
Do you know what? I don't have I have no regret.
That's good.
Because you know the thing is like, so my dad's French, and everyone's like, oh, how come you don't speak French? And I said, I'd love to, but if I looked at the trajectory of my life, so there were 2 schools in the world. One was in Europe where they spoke French, and I would learn to become a technician, and then there was America. If I grew up in the household speaking French, if you had time at the time growing up, my life would be so different. You wouldn't be in my life, my wife probably wouldn't be in my life, my friends that I have today wouldn't be in my life, I might not be who I am today. So as far as regrets, no regrets, a lot of lessons.
But did the French build any cool motorcycles though? They've got Bruff Superior, I think, is in France now.
Oh yes, and they've got that, but they make everything complicated.
Yeah.
So I might not stick to the French roots to do the motorcycles.
Yeah, because I mean they built interesting cars.
Yes, yeah.
Oh, okay, that's
So, not the most reliable, but interesting.
Yes.
Yeah.
Unnecessary bits.
Yeah.
But they're cool. You know?
Yeah.
And if you think back at your biggest win in life.
Biggest win? I don't know if I've achieved it yet. I hope I haven't.
Because then it's over.
Yeah, then it's done. But I would say, the me winning that award at the show in the States was definitely to date one of my most proudest accomplishments, and just especially what I do is rare in the world, and to be able to go overseas with your bike, enter in it where there's only 300 builders from around the world invited, and then still win an award because it's outstanding for the show or for that particular genre. I think that was definitely one of my proudest. Walking up on stage in front of 15,000 people, not knowing that I won anything, and then I'm like, wow!
That's cool.
Yeah, I think that definitely was one of it.
And I mean, on the topic, like who else in South Africa? Are there any custom builders in South Africa that's really cool?
There's a lot of talent. We got a lot of talent, but this is like anything. It's a labor of love.
Yeah.
There's very rare people in the world. Few people in the world actually doing this as a living, yet alone in South Africa. But we've got so much amazing talent, and they do it as a sideline. There's one or two other guys doing it, but I don't know how many people. I don't know of anyone that's actually competing internationally and traveling around the world from it. Yeah. So I'm very blessed and fortunate to be where I am.
Yeah, that's cool. Like, I think it'll be interesting if they could. Ever been an opportunity for those sort of builders to show what they do in South Africa in a way. It'll be, I think, super inspiring to see, but also quite lucky to see that there's, I suppose like restaurants, we all cook differently.
Yeah.
Like chefs. And the best thing we could do is to help each other and inspire, build a community. It would be interesting if there's like a custom builder community that's really vibrant.
And the cool thing is the way the industry has turned is so like, the new bike builder, it's become like very, everyone inspires and helps each other. Back in the day, like when I started, like let's say, back in the day if you were a bike builder, you didn't share your secrets. It wasn't as welcoming, and it was more of like an ego thing. Where now you go to a show and everyone is so like welcoming, and like some of my mates now are the top bike builders around the world, and it's by going to the shows and speaking to them. You ask them, how did you do that? They want to give you advice how to achieve it and not make the mistake they did. Yeah. Where before they wouldn't do it, they wanted to see you fail and be like, you can't do what I do. Yeah. Where it's not like that. If you come around and not beat, but maybe do it in a different, better way, they embrace it because now they're going to go back. It's like this healthy competition.
Yeah. There's this wonderful saying that only shit chefs doesn't share recipes. And it's true.
Yeah.
Because if you truly are good at what you do, you don't mind sharing. And if you share, it's that person's responsibility or the opportunity actually to take what they've learned and do it better.
Yes.
Or do it differently. And I think that's the cool thing. Or interpret it in their own way. And that's if knowledge can move more freely in the world, it'll
and you
change things.
And then also they inspire you because you're like, oh my word, I didn't think of doing it that way. Yeah. And you'd have thought of every single way to do it. So it's quite an amazing industry, and the way it's growing is quite awesome.
What would be your favorite food destination in the world?
Favorite food?
If you haven't been or haven't been yet.
Well, like go overseas to experience the food?
Yeah.
I'm going to say Japan.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, that is my
Have you been?
Not yet, and that's why I'm itching to. That's also the reason to get my black belt is we do it in Japan.
Cool.
And then we go for 2 weeks with my Xi'an, and we'll experience the whole training of getting your back belt.
So apart from building fucking motorcycles, this guy is also a karate oak. So that's what it is.
Well, I wouldn't go that far. More like discipline. Or a very slow learner. Like I said, it's been taking me 6 years. And I'm still in. But I just enjoy the culture. But I think. And the discipline, and how get your mind thinking. But Japan, just to experience the food and also the craftsmanship. Yeah. Everything I mean, someone was telling me about to become a sushi chef, like the rules and like, you know, there's things they still do that is just so honourable, and the way things should be done in a craft and an art.
Yeah.
You know, people do something that read a book or go for a class, and now they think they're a chef and they want to roll into your restaurant and they want the top salary because, I don't know, they watch Betty Crocker or something, I don't know.
Yeah.
But the same in my industry is, you know, a guy learns how to do this, and suddenly he wants to come in and earn this top salary, but doesn't want to do the discipline and the hours and the sweat and blood that goes into it.
I think in my opinion, I think we've discounted the value of repetition.
Yeah.
So, you know, it's okay cooking one dish, putting a picture on Instagram and saying, fuck, I'm so talented. There's another thing doing that thing over and over and over and getting to understand the fine nuances. You know, what happens when something does go wrong? How do you fix it? How do you do it better? Like that's important. The nuance is everything, but also the value of just doing things over and over and doing it well. I think there's a sense of professionalism, in my opinion, that brings to your craft.
And having the same approach to it day in, day out, and not taking for granted, oh, I know how to do this dish. You still follow those rules, and you know, you still present it the way it should, even though it's your 10,000 Ed Benedict.
100% for now.
For now.
It's the strangest thing. I mean, you know, we spoke to Andrew Nell recently, and he said exactly the same thing. Japan, craftsmanship, precision.
Yeah.
No, it's incredible.
Yeah, and I think that's what you do, is like you just want to keep learning more, and you know, like there's certain people I'd love to just shadow and just learn their knowledge, because this or everything we do with our hands is a dying trait, you know, everything, and it's becoming more demanded, but not more people want to work with their hands. And
look, AI can't weld yet.
Well, actually,
or maybe can they?
They can actually.
I think they started cooking.
It's actually wild. This guy came around my workshop about a year ago, and they've got this new welder, and I don't know what it is, but it can literally weld underwater, anything. And he said, watch this, anyone can weld. And I mean, I've been welding for a good couple of years. He grabbed the guy that does all the detailing of the bikes. He hasn't even held a welding torch. He picked it up and he welded these perfect little beads. Just by holding this machine, he just hit 2 buttons and he just ran this thing, and it was the best weld ever.
There you go.
So I think they're going to be welding soon.
Oh, yeah.
But they won't build bikes.
They're cooking, man.
Yeah.
You know, if we're writing recipes and stuff, you know. Alex, if you think of what the future holds, what is next for Alex Stoos and Stoos Customs?
Well, immediately we are busy with a bike build for the Isle of Man.
Yeah.
So we just signed a contract for that, and
which bike are you building?
So I'm building one of my Triumphs that we're going to customize with Monster, because Monster has a big activation there. So for a week I'll be in the Isle of Man assembling this motorcycle and welding and fabricating a bike for people to see what happens.
While the race is running?
While the race is running, I'll be under the Monster tent in the village, and we'll be fabricating and welding and putting together my idea of what a bike should look like. Cool. So right now that's quite a big, quite exciting.
Yeah. And
after that, time will tell. Let's see. Yeah.
Nice, dude.
Yeah. But otherwise, everything's great. My tummy's full. I've got beer in front of me, good company.
That's not how the fucking morning started. One of our sayings at home is that we deal with so many wealthy people every day in our businesses.
Yeah.
And you can never compare yourself to them or where you are in life to them, because it's it's different chapters. But if I measure my wealth in the people around me, my family, delicious food and good wine, then I'm super wealthy.
100%.
That's it. I think for me it's about adjusting the way that you measure your wealth. Yeah,
it's just like the way that everything has been portrayed, that you think it's like financial or having a big house, big car, but at the end of the day, although that does assist in happiness, that's not doesn't buy it to a point.
You know what helps in happiness, bro? Lots of motorcycles.
Well, I think you're on a good way. You must be extremely happy, and I might even get happier later.
Very happy.
Yeah. And if you have a bad day, go get another motorcycle.
I fully agree with you. My wife is now saying,
Stoos Customs has been flagged.
For now.
Yeah.
Alex, thanks for spending time with us today, man. It's always inspiring.
No, thank you for having me.
And I hope that everything goes well.
Yeah.
We look forward to everything you're getting up to.
Yeah, fantastic. Thank you.
And seeing you in eyes now.
Yes. After a few brandies.
Cheers, man.
Cheers.
I hope you enjoyed this incredibly cool conversation with my mate Alex Stoos. You learned something about how we like to eat, maybe some about motorcycles, and maybe just inspired to do something really lekker, you know, like ride a flippin' Harley. If you want to eat great Indian food in Bloberg Strand, come to the Indian chapter by my friend Prim Reddy. See you there.